What's going on, everybody? It is the Blue and Red Banter podcast. Back with your boy, your host, Nicholas Persakis, and my boy.
Sebastian Verde Soto.
Talking today about the match reaction, I guess you could say, to this match week and this Chelsea and Man United game. Of course, my boy's dressed up in a
You already know
way that
why.
you wouldn't expect.
It's a good weekend, so we dressed nice. We won, just something to smile about. If we lost, you would have seen me in a hoodie and hide in my face. But we won against the great Brentford, the great, treble winning, amazing Brentford.
A team that has conceded double the amount they have played this season. 15 games, or no, 15 goals they've conceded in 8 games, I think, is now the most in the Prem this season. So it almost seemed likely you guys were going to score at least one today. Or
You would,
yesterday, I should say, but
yeah, I mean, you would think, and I saw a stat where Brentford have scored like within the first 5 minutes of every game.
even 3 minutes, I think, in the last 4 games.
Yeah, and with like United just being United, you would think that they would get scored on in the
You know
first
what's
three
crazy?
minutes.
I have to add our natural comment. Anthony didn't even play, and he didn't score within the first 3 minutes, so he couldn't add to that tally for them.
No, no,
We'll have to bring up Anthony later on.
the goat.
He had a really good outing on Saturday. So
Yes, sir.
no, but getting I guess in straight into the game. Overall, first of all, you're the United fan here. We'll
Hmm.
let you talk more about it to start. I mean, first half, in my opinion, they looked mediocre, but a lot of controversy led into that second half. In that second half, man, they came out firing.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you saw the goal. You get Delit with a head injury, and I know the law states that if a player gets a head injury, they go down. Like they have to come off, even if it's like for 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I guess it makes sense, but you would you would think that United would be a little smarter maybe and have him like go down and stop the game. But Delit, I mean, he's got obviously like some line in him, so he didn't want to go down. And then the ref obviously forced him off, like he has
Yep.
to. And I mean, they concede. Martinez isn't big enough. He doesn't get up there. I saw Delo lost his man.
Mm-hmm.
And, you need someone like Delit, who's like what, like 6'2", to be in
Yeah,
that
he's something
box
there.
and make that presence. And you can't really blame him or the ref. But I mean, right before the half too, I think that's probably why they came out guns blazing. I mean, you
Well,
score right before the half, you're angry, and you want to come back and just and
yeah,
go
you
crazy.
saw. I think we saw the reaction of Ten Hag. I think you
Oh,
saw
he
it.
was, yeah, no,
Him and RVD were like, or I think yeah, RVD.
yeah,
They both, dude, they were pissed. Dude,
they
the
were
issue
angry.
was getting lit up on the sideline. He got
Yeah,
a yellow.
no,
He did get a yellow
uh
right after
huh.
halftime because he was like, "What
He
the
was
hell?"
angry. Yeah,
Because you saw Delay, bro. He was pissed as on the sideline. The entire team was hella pissed on the
yeah,
sideline.
no, they scored and they instantly started like saying to the ref
They were
like why
tweaking. Like I would have been
like
tweaking too.
oh no, definitely.
Well, the thing is,
Um,
they should have just cleared it up. I think to start with, like I don't think they did a good enough job clearing it up, like
mhm.
the bleeding. But I don't think they were gonna have enough time to like clear it up anyway. I don't even know how it happened. Did he get elbowed?
it was a knee.
He got
Uh,
kneed?
yeah, I'm not remembering correctly, but I know I read that he got a knee to the head, and then, I mean, head injuries, like, a
Well,
little
yeah, you
cut and
always
it's
have to
all
make
over the
sure
place.
it's you have to make sure it's not a serious injury, and it didn't because he came back on the second half,
Exactly. Yeah.
and he looked pretty freaking good.
No,
Um,
definitely.
but I think that overall that injury, I guess he wasn't really even that injured. I mean, he
Yeah,
came out
no.
and he had like the Vaseline all over like in his hair
Hmm.
and everything. It was, but I think when they came out, I think they were so pissed that because of what happened, they literally came out of the gates like
Just,
flying just because
just
of
guns
that.
blazing.
And
Yeah,
I
no.
think like that was probably the best that we saw them play all
That,
season.
yeah, that is a good reaction to have.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, the first 2 games of the season, they probably would have came out just just like little girls, right? But that's a good reaction. And Ten Hag being that angry, I mean, that's also a good reaction. That's what you want to see.
I,
You
I
know?
think I think that seeing him, I mean, he showed emotion in a lot of games, but the thing is, like, his team haven't showed enough emotion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, how much is the team and how much is that the manager? But at the same time, like, as a fan, like, they were loud when they scored
Hmm.
that first goal, and especially after the constant pressure they kept applying in that second half. Like, they were probably the better team in the first half, but of course, like, neither team found the net until that goal. That obviously was controversial, but I think when the cross from, I
Rashford,
think who whiffed, no, it was Rashford was the one that kicked it in for into
Garnacho.
Garnacho,
Hmm.
and Garnacho scored the second. And well, dude, it was that was a brilliant goal. I mean, it was perfect timing and everything. But I think when he scored that second, dude, they were it was like what I think
No,
10 minutes left.
Garnacho had the first. Hoyland had the second. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% right. That
Yeah.
second goal, that touch from Fernandes onto his right foot
Yeah.
to Hoyland, yeah, that
Mm-mm.
was a really good
That
goal.
was a great finish. Um,
Striker finish.
last season, Hoyland would have put it right in his chest or over the bar.
I don't know about that. I don't think I think that
You
he's
think he'd
getting
finish that?
better. I think he what?
I would say you think he's. Okay, continue.
Personally, I think that he's better than Xerxes as a striker.
It's, yeah, it's good you say that because when Xerxes came in, um, Bruno or Garnacho gave him a. It was like last 10 minutes. He gave him a through ball into the 18, and you would think he takes a touch with his right foot because the ball's coming from his
Yeah.
left, and he puts out his left foot like an idiot, and he blew a one. It would have been a 1-on-1 with the goalie, but he blew a touch, and it just went straight to the goalkeeper. So it's
All
good you say that because Xerxes, our new star player, and he does something super. I mean, he's still young, but super naive for a
It'd be good to
striker.
use them, I think, both, because they're both two different types of players. Because, of course, Hoyland's more of like your main number nine striker, and
Hmm.
he gets in behind and has a more powerful shot. And Xerxes is more of a guy who likes to collect the ball deeper with his back to goal and make passes that kind of like either he can play to midfielders, they could space the wing. So I
Hmm.
think that if you can try and find a formation that fits both of them, it'll benefit your team more. But
Yeah.
currently, like this makes it. I think now back-to-back goals, if I'm not mistaken. Like, because I think he scored in Europa League, Hoyland,
Hmm.
and now he technically would score in the next game, which would be the Prem, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost certain that's the case. But I mean, he's looked good, especially in that goal. And he had other chances in this game against Brentford. This
Yeah.
wasn't the that wasn't the only chance he had. Overall, he looked pretty good, but he wasn't the only player that looked good in this game, man.
No. No.
I
They.
mean,
I mean, I told you Garnacho should start, and he was all over the place.
dude, that guy was a
He
weapon.
he's. I
He was a
mean,
weapon.
he does a lot on that wing, and that finish, that cross from Rashford, he actually crossed the ball in, surprisingly. It was a little funny because Rashford usually plays on the left side because he likes to cut in to his right, but it was actually the opposite. Rashford came in to the left and just lobbed it right over the whole defense. And a great finish from Garnacho, amazing.
The cross into the shot was perfect. It was a first time.
Oh no, it
It
was
was first
great.
time from him, and like honestly, I don't think that there was really a single bad player from your team on Saturday.
Um,
Like when I think of the top of my head, like maybe Johnny Evans because he's Johnny Evans at this point.
yeah,
Erickson wasn't bad. Even Casemiro, like I can look it up on
Casemiro's.
SofaScore, and Casemiro had one of the highest average ratings on SofaScore. I'm almost certain.
I have goal.com open. They're giving him a 6 out of 10. Stating a very competent performance, making brave tackles and blocks to ensure United were rarely overrun in the midfield. So I guess just an average game for him. Nothing
When
special.
I watched him, like none of them, like their midfield wasn't really getting blown. They weren't getting, like usually you see they get overloaded in the midfield and they
Yeah.
get blown to pieces by
Hmm.
anybody. Like it could have been like Ipswich and they get blown to pieces. Actually, I think you guys beat Ipswich. I don't know.
They'd still
I
get blown
think
through.
they still get blown through by
Yeah.
Ipswich. But like the point is, like none of your guys has played bad. Fernandez looked a lot better and a lot more
Hmm.
comfortable. Even though I think that there's a chance he could have gotten, I think another almost red there was a certain thing I think he stepped on a guy's ankle again, and he almost could have gotten a red in this game again.
Probably.
But it's bad. We're not gonna talk about more reds for Bruno at this point. When he's your captain, he should be getting those. But
Hmm. You know who was quite solid? Erickson. I didn't have him in
I
my
thought he looked
predicted
good.
solid. I
Yeah,
didn't have him in my predicted lineup, but he was making a lot of forward passes, not as like a final third creative like Bruno kind of does,
yeah.
but definitely forward. Getting the ball and just very calm in a way.
He
He
did.
wasn't
He did
rushing it.
scuff that shot. I think there was like a thing that they said that Casemiro committed a foul and like the ball fell to him and he literally was like right in front of the goal and he just literally
Yeah,
feet of air in it.
that was offsides though.
Was it
He was
offsides or a foul? I think it was offsides.
It was
Dude,
offsides. He still scuffed it.
it was
If it
so
wasn't,
bad. It
yeah,
was a
he was like
horrible miss. Like
he
I
was
don't know
like
how
eight
you're
yards
missing
out.
there.
He was like 8 out,
It's
and it was like
crazy.
way over.
It's crazy that Casemiro and Ericsson are your options in the midfield as starters right now because like that's the first I think starting midfield that he had Ten Hag to start his journey at United. So it's funny that it's like came back to this.
Yeah, I mean Erickson. I know he kind of gets hurt a little bit.
He
He was
has, I
out for
think,
a bit,
especially
and
after he had that
then
heart issue
yeah, and then
against
Casemiro
Ajax.
obviously has like his just awful performances sometimes.
Dude, he sometimes, yeah, he's
But
atrocious. But this is a good come up appearance for him.
I mean maybe against Brentford they just came into the game a little much calmer. They weren't as nervous like Liverpool.
Do you want to rank the guys, or would you prefer just maybe give the
Um,
guys a rating based off of what you had?
the the
I
whole
think I
the
can I,
whole
I can
performance. Oh,
I think you can give the overall performance as well. I think that rating the guys based off of how they play is a good thing as well. I think that some of the guys definitely deserve some praise. I think this is a good game for you guys, and
yeah.
getting up to 11 points is big. Of course, they were at
Wow.
8
Big games
points.
in 8 games.
Hey, look,
Oof.
listen, man, you gotta take what you
Oh,
can get at this point. You're
I
only
guess
3 points
so.
behind us now, so
We're only 10 points behind Liverpool, so
yeah,
we're,
10
we're
points
catching
behind
up.
Liverpool, man. You guys are doing some good
We're
stuff.
catching up.
So like, let's show this overall. Let's see the lineup here first.
Hmm.
So this is the lineup you guys had.
All right. So Onana,
I thought he was pretty solid, man.
he was solid. He was a lot of forward playing. I mean, I
He made a
guess
good save, I think, once or twice, but he didn't really have as much
nothing
action as I thought.
crazy.
You guys carried that second half so well that I don't think he did anything
Yeah.
spectacular. But he did. He's been one of your better players all season anyway.
Yeah. I mean, what could you really give a goalie that doesn't get too much? I guess
Probably,
solid
I
7,
think his 6 or 7 is pretty fair
6,
for
7.
this game.
Yeah. Delit, solid. Um,
Outside of that one, probably injury, I guess.
Yeah,
he,
that was maybe a little, like too like selfish in a way to not go down and stop the play right there and
I
then.
think the thing is, I don't
Um,
think he just didn't want to come off, and I think him not like coming off quick didn't made it a worse issue.
yeah,
But at the same time, I don't think that destroys his rating. Because I
yeah,
thought he was
mhm.
very solid defensively, but I thought your entire defense was pretty good in this game outside of
Yeah.
the allowed goal, just from the
I
corners.
mean,
Anyways.
if you exclude Dallo off his poor defending, um, I give Delit, Evans, and Martinez, probably like a maybe mid eights.
I think that's fair.
I mean
Jumping up to mid eight is
Martinez.
crazy in this day of age.
I mean Martinez, he's obviously short, but he didn't even like flick on the ball at all in that header. And Dallo that was just poor defending. He just let him like go straight through him. Um, but other Dallo, because of that, like 6, maybe high fives, mid
There were
fives.
some good runs he made, I think, but outside of that, I think I can
Yeah.
agree with you on that.
And then you got Casemiro and Eriksson. They both play good as a midfielder. Nothing like too crazy. So probably like low eights for them. Garnacho with the goal. I mean,
I don't think it was just the goal, man, dude.
but he was,
outstanding
but
in
he
his one
was,
goal. He was a
he does
he was
so
constant
much,
pressure. He
so
applied
much.
constant pressure to this game.
He does. He had that one opportunity. The ball, I don't know who played into him, but it came all the way through to the other side of the 18, and he just didn't catch it right. I think he was trying to go top right. It was towards the end of the game, and it felt like straight to the keeper. But still, I mean, he does so much attacking wise. I mean, he's looking like Rashford, a couple years ago.
And Rashford's looked good in these last 2 games you guys have
Rashford's,
played.
yeah,
Hopefully he doesn't get taken out for resting for the next few games or something.
resting for no reason. Yeah.
I think actually you're gonna have Diallo come back in and Garnacho's gonna sit for some academy player.
I mean, we got Fenerbahce next, right?
Yeah, this Thursday.
That's a big game.
There will be preview for that. There will be preview.
And is that at home or
You guys played away at the Dragao last game, so I'm gonna assume you're gonna be home.
we're away? We're away.
We're away.
We are away.
Okay, so I was assuming you guys would have a home game after playing one away
No.
but so that means you have a Mourinho reunion
Yeah.
in the Turkish league.
In the Turkish league,
Should be
that's
fun. You're going into hell.
yeah, no, that'll be tough.
Any game in the Turkish league, especially at one of the bigger teams, is not easy. I never like playing those Turkish league teams because their fans are ridiculously
Yeah,
crazy,
no,
dude.
passionate as hell. But Mourinho, he likes to play a little defensive.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. We'll have to see. I
We'll
don't know how
never
his
know.
tactics have changed in his recent years, as especially now. But I think that they're doing pretty well for in the table there in the Turkish league. But
I mean, yeah, I mean these like lower ranked leagues, they're a lot more kind of go.
transition.
Yeah, they like to just kind of get
But,
out.
I mean, when you're one of the better teams, especially when you pay as much money as they do for certain players, especially in that league, I think Galatasaray are number one, basically solely off the fact that they have Victor Osimhen in the Turkish league. So
Mhm.
that guy,
Yeah.
that's still insane to me. The fact that he's just in the Turkish league at his quality is crazy.
Yeah, he should have came to
He should be a
United.
Chelsea player.
Should have came to United.
That's crazy.
If I had anything to do with it, he would have been starting.
Yeah,
already.
I know your negotiating skills are off the freaking
Do you
table.
not see this fit? He would have saw me in this and been like, I need to go to the great city of Manchester, and
The great city of Manchester.
go play alongside Johnny Evans and Anthony the goat.
Nah, you can't joke about Anthony anymore, bro. He got good playing time here in the second half. You forgot to mention his insane quality in the second half today. You guys didn't know he didn't play today. He did not play today.
No, his presence alone gave us that win that we desperately
after
needed.
that stare is still sending shockwaves throughout the fan base right
Yeah,
now. So.
still
But
resonating.
That
us.
was the lineup for this team, and overall, I think that United did a pretty good job. I think that this is a good win, and hopefully that energy that they had all throughout. I mean, in that second half, they showed really good energy to get the goals back and come from behind. But
They should have put in probably one or two more, definitely.
I think they easily could have had 3 or 4. Easily could have had 3 or 4 in the second half, especially. But to be honest, like, who's your next opponent on Sunday outside of obviously Fenerbahce? Because whoever they play on Sunday, they got to be looking at this second half game and taking it a bit more seriously. Because I personally, then I would be taking it more seriously if United can play like they did in that second half on Sunday or Saturday, whichever one they play on. Dude, I'm gonna have to take it seriously.
All right, so we got the 27th at West Ham.
So Sunday, West Ham. Okay,
Yeah.
they are awful.
But
Dude,
United are awful too.
sometimes you're due a win, and this easily could be one that they're gonna get it because West Ham have been bad. Like they just got lit up. I think 4-1. I think on Saturday.
I think so.
Against who was it?
Let me
can't
see.
remember.
Tottenham.
Tottenham. Yeah, Tottenham.
And they got a red
card.
card. And we got a direct red card.
Yeah.
From
got it.
Yep. So that might help.
It was late in the game, but they were awful. So I honestly don't know. You guys might be. Is it you're gonna be away? London Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, it's gonna be a harder game because it's away from home. But at the same time, bro, you gotta be going into that one thinking you can win because that's an easier game.
No, definitely. I mean, we take anything we get.
Chelsea Football Club beat West Ham 3-0 at the London Stadium, a game that we lost last year 3-1. But the thing is, like, under Lopetegui, I don't think that team fits their style. I think that they would have been better off just keeping Moisey. What a statement, keeping David Moyes. But he's honestly one of the most successful coaches in West Ham history because he won them the Conference League, 2 years ago, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
I think he was the second team to ever win it, first team to ever win the Conference League. A competition we're playing in this Thursday.
It's good competition.
So, how the mighty fall. But I guess transitioning into the game today for us, Chelsea played Liverpool and sadly lost 2-1. I'm not dressed up for the reason being.
No reason
What?
at all. What
How
an
was I?
awful performance from
Nah, you
Chelsea.
can't even say that. You can't even say that they were awful performance. They
No,
honestly,
no, no, no. They
like
played. They were
you
strong.
you said a 3-1 loss and a bad result.
3-2-1 loss.
I had a 2-2 draw, which I thought might have been the result at one point. Of
They could, yeah,
course,
no,
it was a
definitely.
2-1 final score. And easily I think the penalty that they didn't give on Sancho, it's ridiculous. They gave a penalty on Levi Colwill on Curtis Jones. Okay, I'll put my hands up.
Hmm.
It was a penalty. It was.
Yeah.
But on the other end, Trent Alexander-Arnold took out Jadon Sancho's legs. They didn't even check in the penalty box if it was a penalty. Like, if you're going to have the same tackle on one end and on the other end you don't check it, like, how is that fair? I just don't get how you can label that as being fair.
It's homegrown refs.
And that's like, and that was tweets throughout the entire game saying, "Oh, like both sides saying, dude, ref is having a master class right now. Like, what is he doing? Like, what was he doing?" But overall, like talking more about the game, I guess first half, like it looked Liverpool scored the first goal through the penalty, and then it was 1-0 going into halftime. But there wasn't a time where I was thinking like we were bad. I mean, for the first 25 minutes, we were very good. We had most of possession throughout the entire game. We had more shots than Liverpool in this game. Also saw something today. Liverpool haven't had, I think, less than a certain amount. I don't know how many it was, but they haven't had less than a certain amount of shots at their home field since 2021. And they had under that number today. So they had less than their amount of shots today than they've had ever in the last basically 4 years.
And did you still have some defenders missing this week?
Everybody came back,
Everybody.
but Fofana was suspended and Cucurella was suspended. So two
Okay.
of our starters
Yeah.
throughout every other game, I think, this season were suspended. So I'll put the lineup in just a second, but Malo Gusto played left back, and Reese came back into right back, which is something I want to get into in just a second. Because I think I said in the last episode we did that
20
I didn't-
minutes.
I don't think that Reece James. Yeah, I said something like he was only going to play like 15 to 20 minutes at the end of the game. But I think it was like I'll get back into the lineup in just a second. But I think that him playing as the starter was honestly better because, like, let's put it this way: when you start a game, you're able to warm yourself up into the game with everybody else. Even though he hasn't played, he hasn't played at all this season except for in preseason. He hasn't played any games at all. Conference League, Premier League, hasn't played a single one. So already coming back in as the starter after not playing a single game in the Prem is already hard enough. And against Liverpool, that's hard enough. But at the same time, like, I think when you're able to come back straight into the lineup and start playing the game with everybody else, you're able to get warmed in and ready into the game at the same the same amount of pace.
I mean, he had to be fired up, I mean, after missing so much against a big game like Liverpool. And they gave him the captain band, right?
Well, yeah, he's the club captain.
So he had to be like just ready, all
He is
through
the club
training.
captain.
He was probably just itching to get on.
Well, I imagine this guy's missed like 70, 90 games in the last 3 seasons with the same hamstring problem, same legs. Like bro's been made of glass the last 3 years. So if he can even play like 50% of the games this season, I think that would be a good way to put it. They said, I think, in press conference that he was only going to be playing in, I think, 1 game a week until he's really could prove his fitness would be able to support more than 1 game a week. I think that's what they said they're going to do with guys like Fofana and Lavia, another guy who took Enzo Fernandez's spot in the starting lineup today. Another thing that they were kind of surprised, especially I didn't have. My entire lineup was correct. Actually, not true. I had Vega playing left back. Gusto played left back instead. But I did not have Lavia coming back straight into this team because I thought that even with the guys from South America coming back, it didn't really matter. But Caicedo ended up playing because he's that good. And Enzo just
He's trash.
Isn't.
This is awful.
But overall, like, if I get more into these goals, then second half we came out and scored immediately. Caicedo played the ball into Jackson, who timed his run well, made a good shot. So your boy Caicedo got an assist because
The best.
he's just out of this
Us
world.
Ecuadorians do it best.
Dude, he's something special, dude. That guy.
It's funny you say that because like last week I was saying he's not really the guy to attack too much. Like at least that like one final pass, he's just distributor, kind of move the ball around. But it was a great pass. It was like just barely the knee was kept him on. I know they had to check it because they didn't think
they called it offside to
they
start.
call offside exactly. But perfectly timed. I mean, and Jackson actually held up with the ball a lot. I thought he would take it
You
onto
need
his
to
left.
understand that people are really shitting on this guy for his like ability, and
Hmm.
it's mostly just his finishing. People don't understand that his off the ball runs and positioning is really good.
It's
His
good, yeah.
timing was perfect. Like if like two more steps, like I think he like was literally just like it was like 2 feet maybe. It wasn't by much. It was honestly a lot more onside than they made it seem like.
Hmm.
Because like on the freaking commentary team, they were like, "Oh, he's offside!" Like even before they looked at it, and then like they looked, like, "Oh wait, he's not offside."
Yeah.
They didn't even give it a chance. Like they didn't even give the guy a shot. They
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, he's offside, no goal." But it was a good finish, even though Allison didn't play against Kelleher. But Kelleher is a good goalie.
Yeah, no.
I think that
He
he
stood
would
his
start
ground.
for a lot of Prem teams, to be honest. But at the same time, like I think that Caicedo's pass, like you were talking about, it was perfectly weighted. It was a
Hmm.
perfectly weighted pass. Like you can't get any better than that when it comes to certain pass throughs. But then, of course, like right after we score, you show all this, like oh, look at all the badge, like yeah, all this bullshit, and then they go up the other end, and Salah plays like a ridiculous ball into
It
Curtis
was a
Jones,
great pass.
dude.
But I'm wondering how did no one react? Like he
No,
just
like
floated over
you had
everybody.
the thing is like the entire line is just looking at everybody,
They're
and they're
just
just like they're all playing like across each other. They're all just like, oh, no one's offside, no one's offside, and like I'm just sitting there and I'm like, why is there a free runner of Curtis
yeah.
Jones
Hmm.
just going through the middle of the field undetected? Like, how does nobody track this guy? How does a midfielder not follow him? How does the center back not get told like,
How
hey,
does the
runner,
goalie
runner,
say,
runner?
watch backside?
Like, and the thing is, that's one thing. Robert Sanchez has to be the most inconsistent goalie I've ever watched. He'll have a game where he'll just make 7 saves. Let all be known, he has 2 of those games this season where he has 2 games with 7 saves. The Forest game and the I can't think. There's another one where he's got 7 because he won play of the match. Bournemouth, he had more than 7 saves. Both of those 2 games, he had 7+. And in this one, the first goal is one where I'm like, okay, it's a penalty. You don't
Yeah.
have much to do with it. You can't blame him too much. The second goal, however, Curtis Jones takes a horrible touch, and then it actually wasn't bad. He controlled it, but he needed to do a little bit more with the ball to
Hmm.
get it out of his feet. Like, but he comes out too slow, and it's as simple as stuff like that. It's just the inconsistencies and stuff that
Are
you
gonna
just
hurt
can't
you.
have in the Prem, especially when you're a Chelsea goalkeeper. When
Hmm.
you're a Chelsea goalkeeper, you simply cannot have these types of mistakes, and that's what really kills him for me. And that's why I think that I'm going to spoil it early, but he gets 4 out of 10 today. Like there's nothing I can say to save his rating in this one, because at the end of the day, like I said a second ago, you can't be inconsistent. Because even if Maresca wants to keep you, like we're not going to keep believing in you.
Yeah.
Because like
Definitely.
Jorgensen is sitting on the door. He plays every cup game. You don't know who Philip Jorgensen is, of course, because he's our backup goalkeeper. But
I don't know nothing, do I?
he's
Huh?
22 and he's like a good Danishman, and he's pretty solid. But he gets injured every international break, like every player does. But
It's trash.
honestly, I need to see like Sanchez somehow to start putting in like constant 6 out of 10s. Because like if he could do that, it'll prove to me like that he might be able to stay as a starting goalkeeper. But like you said, I think last week, if you can put up consistent 7 out of 10s every
Hmm.
single week, then you're gonna play a starting role every single day. Because like the more you could just show consistency and availability in a lineup, that's all you need.
Hmm. Couldn't agree more.
So I'm gonna show this lineup from this game, and I'll talk more in depth about the players. Because like, personally, dude, this was a game where I was very up and down with certain players because, yeah, of course, it's a loss. And like I said a second ago, I'm not even that upset because I think the guys, especially for the certain game, I mean, this was Liverpool are the fourth oldest team in the Prem.
No experience on the belt,
I mean,
and they're at home.
and the thing is, they're home. Like I said, they're the fourth oldest team in the Prem. But at the same time, like they've adjusted really well to this slot team. I think that under Arne Slot, they've been great.
Hmm.
They've conceded 3 goals now. That's it in the 8 games in the Prem. So they've been in a ridiculously good defensive team. And dude, give them credit. Their defense was again insane today. Like it's insanely hard to break them down, but I think we did a really good job when it came to breaking them down. I think on SofaScore as well, you could see our the offensive momentum. I think you might know what I'm talking about. Like on the momentum chart, like it shows
Yeah.
like who had the more momentum on it.
Hmm.
And like we had controlled most of the momentum in this one. We had more shots in this game than them. Of course, you have to like take into account like were they good shots compared to bad shots, but looking at it again, Sanchez was a 4 out of 10. He was bad. Just like I said earlier, not staying consistent. The center back pairing, Colwell this was probably his worst game of the season. Of course, he conceded the penalty, which
It was a little right. It was a little sloppy.
it was sloppy.
Yeah.
He could have conceded like a few minutes earlier on maybe a penalty for Salah as well. But he got the ball on that one. But he was being a little too aggressive in his challenges. But that's what he's showing a little bit too much being aggressive. Tosin was not good today. That's this guy, by the way, if you didn't know. Tosin was just like in previous games, he's looked very casual, under control, and this one he looked more erratic, which is
Hmm.
something that he hasn't shown. But I was really hoping he was going to be a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? I guess ready for the pressure, and
Composed.
he did not give it. Like he simply did not give it. I'm also gonna do this in the meantime as well because this is honestly what our formation is more than what it shows. Because this is how we play. This 3-2-4-1 structure
Yeah.
here. So Reese was honestly he played 50 minutes. I think that probably was
The
what they
max.
decided to give him anyway. I think that they didn't want to play Reese more than probably that. I mean, I was surprised that he played after halftime to begin with. Of course, he only lasted like literally 5 minutes after halftime, but at the end of the day, like that, I get like you just said, it was probably the max anyway. But Reese gets a 6. Oh, I didn't say with the center backs. I think both center back. I think Colwell gets a 5. Tosin gets a 4. I think that Colwell was slightly better than Tosin, but I don't think he was anything much better. And then Reese, I think, gets a 6 because I think that he did pretty well in that right back defensive role, but at the same time, it's about getting him to fitness. But I think he was the best defender. And I think Malo also gets a 6. I think both wingbacks did well, and I think Gusto did pretty well filling in the midfield. Hold on, I need a sip of water real quick. Pardon me. Lavia was great, another guy who filled in the midfield, and to be honest, dude, he was probably one of the better players in the team. Outside of Caicedo, him and Caicedo, I think both probably could have gotten the same rating. But because Lavia got taken out at the same time as Caicedo, I think that Lavia gets a 7, Caicedo gets an 8. Dude, Caicedo was the best player in the field. I think it's either between him and Curtis Jones. But,
Ew, Curtis Jones is awful.
dude,
I think that's just my United hate.
I think it's your United
if,
hate, dude.
if there's a couple of players I don't like seeing their face, and if I could just give them a knuckle sandwich, it would be Robertson, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, and yeah, that's probably it. And
'cause
Luis Diaz, that him. Oh,
my God.
Nunez.
He
But
was
I mean
crazy.
Salah, Virgil. I mean they're pretty good. I like them.
Nah, but dude, it's because he's got that Liverpool that stupid
That Scouse accent.
Scouse accent. Dude,
Yeah.
that stuff.
Oh, it's
my
awful.
God, bro, that Northern English accent is crazy.
Just
To
disgusting.
me. But dude, no, Caicedo was all over the place today, and of course he got the assist for Jackson. But we were just talking about a few days ago that I was saying it. I put my hands up. I'm not I didn't overreact when I said it either. I fully believe it still. But Cole Palmer was just he was man marked out of this game. And like when you think of man marking, like oh yeah, like one guy's just staying with me. Like, that's exactly what happened. Like the entire team, like one guy was not there, another guy took over. Like teams are so worried about this guy, they literally marked him. They followed him everywhere.
They're doing what they just do to Holland for the past couple of years. They try to keep one guy on him at all times because he's dangerous. I mean, he is so like consistent with his shooting. Like the man does not miss. And I think Chelsea, they could they could probably use something like that man mark tactics to advantage. Yeah,
Well, I
have
think
someone
Maresca said it.
draw him out, and make him kind of like a decoy. That probably I'm not sure that might have happened with Jackson's goal. I mean, Palmer might have sucked somebody out.
There's a
Um,
chance. I have to go look at it back.
it might have. I'm not sure, but if they could just use him as a decoy, and if they
Maresca said
win,
it
I mean,
before.
he might not care if doesn't get as many shots as he would like to.
Maresca said it before the game. He's like, I don't want us being dependent on the guy because, like,
Mhm.
think about it. This is a team sport, and of course, like, it's great if he gets assists and he gets goals, but it's about getting everybody else
If I get on
involved.
a win.
Well, yeah, of course it's going to get you wins. Of course, he scored 4 goals in the game against Brighton, and we won. But
But you
at
also
the
can't
same,
expect to score,
well, you can't expect
against
him to score
Liverpool
4 goals.
or the
Yeah,
Cities
against
every
Liverpool.
single
Yeah,
game.
of course,
Hmm
of course. But this was the probably, I think, in my opinion, one of the worst, if not, you could say it's like one of his. It's the worst game of the season he's had. But is it one of the worst games he's had as a Chelsea player? Like, there's a chance. But overall in this game, dude, he wasn't at the level. And again, that's part of man marking, and that's part of him just not getting the ball. But
hmm
he was not at his best, and he probably gets a 5. Sancho got taken off at halftime. Whether it was for him being, again, clamped by Trent, surprising statement to say out loud, right? Clamped by Trent, a guy who's known for
Trent
his
is
lack of
awful.
defensive ability.
Another player who yep, Trent,
Yeah,
awful.
yeah, I
Hate him,
understand. I understand
hate
you
him.
hate United players, but Sancho got taken off at halftime for Neto, Neto, by the way,
Neto was looking
outstanding,
good. Neto was looking good.
outstanding performance off the bench in the second half from Neto. He definitely took that, gave that work to.
He's cutting in a lot in the middle too. He was
He was cutting in a fair share.
mhm.
That's kind of his game, though. He's more of a winger-based player. Takes on guys like Nunny, and Nunny was okay in this game. I don't think that Nunny did too many things special. I think he should have gotten subbed that early. And personally, I think that Palmer should have went onto the right, and Kunku should have went through the middle. And I think that because I think that they would have had a worse time. Like, you can't man mark a guy who's playing on the wing. It's not really. It's a little bit harder to do that. I mean, you would have had your right back stay on it, but if it'll free up more space in the middle. Because when he's able to free roam like he does normally, Palmer, like it's easier to man mark a guy the way they did it. But I think it's better just seeing Kunku through the middle, keep Jackson up top, and Palmer on the right at one point in the second half. But we just didn't see it. And then Jackson was okay up top. Like, he got his goal and his ball movement was good, but I mean, when you're a striker, you got to hope the guys behind you can give you the right passes. And he got one and took his chance, but outside of that, he didn't have many other chances to really prove himself. But to be honest, like,
I would say just a solid performance. Nothing too
this is
special from the
this to
team.
me, this wasn't a game where you can overreact. I don't think there's anything about this game that is like, you know, the throwaway season. Oh, we're done. We're not competing for top 4. Like, of course, that's not something you could say after a result against Liverpool. For much of this game, we were the better team. Plain and simple. For much of this game, we were the better team. I don't want to hear any crap saying like, oh, the youngest team in football, Banter Club. Like, the more that shit gets said, it just pisses me off more. Like, I at this point, like, I've tried to like avoid all the stupid nonsense from all the stupid fan bases. You even said that shit like a couple months ago. You said
Me?
that. Yeah.
Why are you
What are you
throwing me under the
talking
bus? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, buddy.
I don't know what you're talking about. Only $1 billion attacking team, when they weren't winning, But I guess they're winning for now.
Okay,
Trust me,
so
United will get their spot. If Anthony has anything to do with it, then we won't.
if you Anthony gets more playing time, I think that it'll definitely cause a problem.
Definitely, that's right.
Because it'll cause problems if he's put on the field.
If he's fine, he might score an own goal. He might give the ball away. He might do a little fidget spin, and give the ball away. Who knows? You never know. But then, like last season, he came in against Liverpool in the FA Cup, did his like 4 spins and scored like I think the winning goal. So I don't know. This man's weird. He's weird. He'll score in his debut and then won't score for like 11 months straight. I
It's
don't
crazy how
know.
some players are. They show out on their debut and then they just collapse.
Yep. I mean, maybe that's just United culture.
Xerxes scored in his debut.
I think it's just United culture. We know we're just good for like 10 days and then just gone.
So, upcoming preview will be on Fenerbahce and I guess it's Man United versus Fenerbahce and Chelsea versus Panathinaikos. So, Turkish, Greek, they'll be in the same vicinity at the same time on Thursday. We'll get that episode out probably Wednesday, if I had to assume. Probably a day before, might be earlier, depending on it. But I think we'll wait till press conferences so we know if there's any new injuries or something that we need to pick up on before games or anything. I think I also want to do a next episode or something where we talk about maybe some of the signings that the teams have made since a certain time period. Like, I want to go over all the signings that Chelsea have made since the takeover, and we can maybe rank them based off how good they've been. And maybe we could start with when Ten Hag took over, and we could say maybe all the signings that Ten Hag has made, and maybe we can rank those too.
Is that a lot of money just kind of
Dude,
thrown out
a
the
lot of
window?
money spent, especially from us. But like,
From you guys, yeah,
you guys have spent your fair share of money too.
we've spent our fair share of money and
You guys
seen
bought
nothing.
like 4 players this season, and you spent almost $300 million or something, right? It was something like that.
Yeah, and then we sell nobody. It's just dead wood.
I like how they came out. And said
I mean, this is nothing new. This is nothing
they
new.
came out and said that Scott McTominay, like, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't want him to leave, but PSR made us sell him. I'm like, well, you could have sold freaking Casemiro, but you didn't do that. Did
Yeah,
you?
no. I think they're still getting shirt sales from Casemiro, surprisingly, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So, next episode, it'll be preview for the Conference League game and Europa League game, because for some reason we're playing in the Conference League.
So we're great teams right now.
Our great billion-pound club is playing in the Conference League.
We will be meeting in the B League Super Cup final.
That doesn't exist, but if it did,
We're gonna
we
make
would
it
meet
happen.
You guys.
No, Man United will probably blow it to I don't know, somebody, Brussels.
They'll play some team from Armenia and they'll lose.
Yeah, Chelsea won't make it out the group stage.
Yeah. We'll lose to Ludogorets.
Yeah, Servette again.
Yeah, Servette again. Oh my God. The flashbacks are coming. But no, thank you very much, you guys, for watching. Excellent time today. Thank you very much, Sebi. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for that next episode. Peace, guys.